All right, welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. I wonder what so many of these questions could be today. I'm going to have to read them off my screen because it's one of those
Can I ask you a
days.
question? Was Gab sat in a sauna doing the... Gab in a sauna? Because he started... When he started the show, he was all cool, calm and collected, and by the time the end of the show, his hair was wet, there was sweat dripping off his brow. We were like, what's going on here, Gab? Hey, you don't notice?
Maybe it's because he was getting interrogated by Ali.
No, there was no interrogation. I'm just, honestly, of all the things that we could point at for reason as to why Manchester City did not advance in the competition, squad depth was not one of them. All right, good to see. Good to see you. Where are you going, Kay? You try to go behind the camera.
I know, you'd think after all these years in TV, I'd have learned that, right?
Well, apparently
All right,
not.
here we go.
What a change of pace, by the way.
So you no questions.
Well, I could have read them off the screen, but it made it more fun, didn't it? It's usually Craig that I'm sending to get them. Shaka sometimes. I think I've sent you once, LA.
No, but I usually don't go in front of the camera.
I know, because you're a lot more professional than me.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Okay, before we do get to the questions, though, we do have something for Nader Manua. Let's take a look at what that is, shall we?
Oh, no.
See, what is that?
Oh, this won't be good.
Oh!
No. Oh my goodness. Oh my
Nader's got a new book out.
Wow. Look
That's
at
why
that.
Frank's disappeared.
Oh,
Competition now.
Man,
as you
and we can
see,
read
as
this
he
because it's in
writes it,
English.
Fascinating. There you
Nader, tell us about it. Tell us about the book.
It's not about accounting,
go.
is it?
Where do I begin? You know, I was talked into it, say, a year and a bit ago, as I was talking to one of my friends who works in the media and has done I've known him for like 20 years, and he was getting me to talk about my life, my career, and so on. And he said, you should do a book. I was like, no. And then I kept talking, and the more I was saying, the more he was interested, and other people were interested. And so they took the idea to our publishers, and they said we should definitely do it. And from there, it's been a lot of fun writing about my life, my career, and so on. And it's I feel really proud to have it. Initially, I wasn't sure how to sort of take it, but I feel really proud to see something that represents my story. And for people who know the path that I've been on, I think it's a very good read.
I look forward to reading it. How do we get it? How do we get it, Nader?
Well, he's going to send us some, right? What?
Yeah, I'll send some. Yeah, that's the
What
one.
about the
Yeah,
viewers, though?
for a
They
small
might wanna
fee,
know
I can
how to
send
get
it to
it.
you. Yeah, there's the link's available on Amazon if you want to search for that, and I think it comes to the US in maybe a couple of months, but there's definitely going to be a push over there as well. And yeah, thank you very much for giving me a bit of your time. This is nice.
I hope you do the audiobook version as well, Nader.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, to be honest. I'm not going to do that. I think I found it weird, like writing about myself, so to then be talking about myself for other people to listen to as well, it seems a bit off for me. But I'm sure someone else will do it.
You see, Ian Wright is a man of few words. Fascinating.
Well, there are more words on the
period.
back. There are more words on the back. That's the thing. You need to look on the
More
back.
on the
There's more
back.
there.
See, and if
Yeah.
you want to know what else he has to say, you're going to have to get the book, aren't you?
Oh,
I read
yeah.
Stevie's book, so I'm going to have to read Nader's book, aren't I? Stevie's
Yeah, you're
book's
too
funny.
kind. Thank
All right.
you.
Dear panel, do you think Carlo Ancelotti regrets leaving Everton?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
What? I don't think... What? Really?
I think that's a bit of a joke, isn't it, from
What?
Danny Mac? All right, Stevie. Madrid is 13-3 in European Cup finals. The last one they lost was against Liverpool in Paris in 1981. Will history repeat itself?
Well, the thing is, that game kind of fits in with what's been happening, particularly this year with Real Madrid. Because they only won that game because, for some strange reason, Karius, Liverpool's goalie, was throwing the ball in the back of his own net.
I mean, you got to go back to 1981 to the last.
I mean,
did you hear what she said?
No, not will history repeat itself in that game.
Yeah.
When Liverpool beat them in
Yes.
the final in Paris in 1981.
Yes.
oh, sorry. No.
Yes.
I'd actually
It's an
decided
Ian
what
Dark moment.
it was. Yeah, I had decided
Oh, my
what
God.
the question was before you finished. Hold on, last one.
Oh, this is great television.
But just a reminder that they are 13 times champions as well, Steve. You don't let that, phase you or anything.
Well, here's the thing. Liverpool have won the... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right here, right? Liverpool have,
You're the
Liverpool have won
ex-Liverpool
the
player.
Champions League twice in Rome, in the same field. Correct?
I don't know.
Yes. 78, Tommy Smith header.
Oh, yeah, I remember 78 before I was even born.
Yeah, and then
Right.
we won it. We won it. I was playing 84.
Right.
So we've already won it in Paris, and we're going back to Paris. So there you go.
So history will repeat
will
itself.
repeat itself.
I love that he asked me. So have they played
You know when you,
twice?
pardon? You know when you question yourself, and I'm like, we definitely won it twice in Rome. I know that. So that's a great omen.
When you
Right.
question yourself, Stevie, what happens inside your head?
Well, I then have to gamble. Because I generally never make a decision either way, so I just pick one and gamble on it. And tonight I gambled right.
Or I feel
Apparently.
like no, when Stevie questions himself, one of us receives a phone call and he'll ask a question. Hey, That's what I think happens. All right. LA called it. Real Madrid is the bogeyman. They just don't die. Was there ever a match in which the boys played where the other team stole a win right at the death from under them? Nadem?
Yeah, 100%. And that sort of like bogey team, in some ways, was Manchester United for me for many, many years. There was a time we were playing them at the Etihad. We were doing well, and it's like literally the 93rd, 94th minute. Somebody has a ball down the left-hand side, get a ball into the box, and Paul Scholes scores a header, and the crowd erupts for them. And it was just that feeling of, oh, not this again. Like, that's what it was for City for many, many years against Manchester United. So I've had that feeling. It was absolutely devastating. So yeah, I think Man United for a long period were City's bogey team, and now they're just another team in Manchester.
Alex?
I thought there was an opportunity there, and I know it wasn't stealing a win, for Nadem to bring back a memory that is so fond in his heart. Aguero!
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
because the thing with that goal, when you think about it, like everybody remembers the Aguero thing, but on the field we didn't hear that. I just thought we'd lost. I'll be honest, I didn't even know who scored the goal for like days after, because the noise was so loud and everything was so crazy. Like, I didn't watch TV for a couple of days, and then I put the TV on and was like, oh, Sergio scored that goal, the most important goal in the club's history. Who would have thought?
Do you know what? It's a good point, though, isn't it? That everybody remembers it for the commentary, and then obviously the people on the pitch don't remember it for that. Yeah.
Never heard that.
Or anyone in the
The
stadium.
good thing is that he's not reminded of it every other week.
Yeah.
And the week after that, and the week after that, because that's what we do here on ESPN. All right, Stevie. Oh no, does this happen to you?
Easy now, you're asking Stevie to ask himself questions again. Slippery
Check
slope.
with me.
See, here's what's happened. I was sitting here thinking I'm going to get away with this,
No, you're not.
and then I thought I had got away with it. Well, obviously, we lost the league title to Arsenal in the last minute of the game at Anfield. If we'd lost 1-0, we would have won the title. And Michael Thomas, who actually ended up playing for us about 3 or 4 years later, scored with a minute to go, and we lost the title.
Are you sure it wasn't Aguero?
I never heard the commentary. Maybe the guy said Aguero instead of Thomas, but
All right, Stevie, are you sure you wanted to face this Madrid?
aye, 100%.
Why?
Well, because logically you want to play against a team that you're superior to. And if the only thing they're relying on is voodoo, as Gab put it, or anything like that, then I'll take my chances with a proper football team. So absolutely. Absolutely.
The proper football team.
A proper football team. Liverpool's a proper football
And
team.
what are Real Madrid?
They're a good football
What are
team.
the 13 times Champions League winners?
They're a good football side that in the Champions League have been hanging on to their participation in this to the degree that you wouldn't believe what's happened. So I would rather play a team that's gone through that, because it has to run out at some stage, as opposed to playing against a team like Man City, who you know can create and score goals. But unfortunately for them, on occasion, Man City can also throw it away a little bit with some poor defending. So you take Madrid over City every day of the week.
I would. I agree, first and foremost. However, there's something to be said about a feeling within a locker room that maybe senses, you know what, this is meant to be. This is now above our control. We're just gonna show up, we're gonna play, and we're gonna win, because we know we know, we have seen it over the course of the season that something's going to happen and we're going to win. And that is powerful to have within a locker room. It's also powerful that the other locker room knows there's something about this team that somehow they found a way. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to make a difference between Mohamed Salah scoring a 1v1 against Courtois or not. But it does set Madrid on a path of success because they have a sense of self-belief that is very, very strong.
All right. Nadim, do you think this loss could have a serious impact on the Premier League title race?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a level of disappointment that exists within that group of players now and all the staff and the like. But the fact is they've hit that point in the season now where they know exactly how many games they have left. And with those games being there, they know that what's at the end of it. Like, if they were in second and they needed a bit of luck from Liverpool and they were going into this game at the weekend and say it was on Saturday and away to Newcastle, then I think that's probably a bigger blow. But for them, like, you've got 4 games left. You win those 4 games, you get a league title. I think in some ways, it's arguably going to inspire them because this is their sole focus. If the Champions League was still hanging around for them, they were thinking about the final, maybe it would affect the performance on a week-to-week basis. Maybe they're concerned about, am I going to be available for this or that? But for them, as I say, it narrows their focus. And if they don't manage to win the league, then, you know, they'll be very disappointed because this is all they have to concern themselves with now. So I think in some ways, I think they'll be fine.
Stevie and all. I'll actually start with you though, Ale. Did Pep get his substitutions completely wrong? Keep your head up, Nadim.
Oh, gosh. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm
That's
not
what they
crying. You're
said.
crying. I'm fine.
Yeah, look, I don't know whether the substitutions were wrong or not because how honestly it comes down to being able to see the game out 4 minutes from the end. So maybe you can pick at certain decisions here and there and feel like maybe he could have done something different. Once the game goes into extra time, I thought that was going to be a real test of Pep Guardiola as a manager because you needed to lift your team from essentially the dead. Whereas Madrid, just 5 minutes earlier, were the ones that were dead. Going into extra time, Manchester City had to find energy and momentum from nowhere. And that's when a manager can come in and make a difference. Whether that's diverting a message, creating a new reality, creating a new message, putting forth information, having your team believe in what you're saying so that then you go out and execute rather than play the surroundings. And I don't think Manchester City ever responded to Madrid winning the game late. And their lack of response and how flat they were in extra time had to do with the fact that they were still caught up on, we missed an opportunity, we let that slip, we let that go, and we just don't know how to answer the next question. I think that's maybe where Pep Guardiola could have done a better job of perhaps providing something different for his team so they could focus on that rather than the failures from 5 minutes before.
You agree it's not down to substitution, Stevie?
No, not at all. I fail to see, you know, even...
There's a couple,
I think
that they couldn't do anything about, obviously.
Again, to try and transport somebody into the position of a Manchester City player, having, in the space of a minute, pretty much blown it. You know, we saw Pep before the extra time. We saw him at halftime of the extra time, getting everybody in, and he was talking to them, and what he's trying to do is exactly what Ali's saying about trying to get rid of what happened. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you can't. I mean, really, do you really think? Maybe you'll get some guys who will be so focused that they won't be, you know, thinking about it or replaying it. But you're telling me you can get 11 players to forget what an absolute disaster. I think to expect a manager to be able to do that is asking too much. And when you're away from home and you've had the guts ripped out of you the way they did, you're always up against it. You're always up against it.
Nadim?
So I don't think Pep did anything particularly wrong.
I agree with Stevie. Like, you hit the nail on the head there. Those things like the momentum, the fact you're away from home, the fact that you've just had a huge sort of level of deflation because of that crazy 60 seconds when everything was just there. You know, the board's going up, but you're still fine. But then also, like, going into the extra time period, I think the thing which we neglect to mention, and I understand why you guys said what you said now, like, that's just a silly challenge from Ruben Diaz. I think as they started that period of extra time, if it was just at the same score for 10 minutes, you know, for 15, Real Madrid aren't throwing the bodies at you in the same sort of manner. But that sort of decision like that, you know, it's a tired tackle. But those moments do matter, and Benzema steps up, he scores, and then it's almost like that's the tie. These group of players, they've got the momentum, they've got the crowd, they're going to celebrate free kicks, celebrate shots, clearances. You can kick the ball wherever you want. And I think for City at that point, it's very hard to strangle momentum away from a side that basically is in the ascendancy, has the confidence, has the clock on their side, have the fans on their side. And City's sort of lineup is different, because I'll be honest, as the extra time started, I thought City's lineup felt more balanced than Real Madrid's did, because Real Madrid were in go for it mode for the last like 5 minutes of regulation. So now I'm thinking, I wonder how Madrid are going to play, but you know what City's setup's going to be. So for them to sort of make that mistake, that's criminal. But I wouldn't blame the substitutions, because I think the guys who came off, they were either injured or not performing well. And I think for the guys who came on, some of them made a bit of a difference, but the others, they just didn't step up, unfortunately. But it's a tough task. And as we were hearing there as well, like, one person can have all the belief in the world, but to win these ties, you need everybody to have it. And if you don't have it in these instances, everything's magnified. So I wouldn't blame the substitutions at all, no.
Nato, I just wanted to say, again, reiterate what Andy Garcia, the person who just provided us with this tweet. Keep your head up, Nato. Yeah. Keep your head
listen,
up.
All I know is that because I'm associated with City, and lots of people love City, but lots of people hate City. Like, they hate them with a passion. So this next few days is going to be City getting dunked on, and wherever I turn up, people are like, "Hey, see, you did it again. You failed." And I'm like, "Wow, yeah."
Give him a book. Give him a book, Nato.
Yeah. Listen, for £17.99 or whatever it is, all your troubles will go away. Read this book and you'll be fantastic, my friend.
There you go. Nedum's book is the answer to everything. Maybe Pep should have read it before this tie, and everything would have been okay.
You could have given them out at the end of the 90 minutes as the antidote.
All right. Lastly, has the Champions League seen a better tie in terms of theatre than the one just completed by Real Madrid and Man City? So in terms of theatre, with everything we saw, first leg and second, can you think of one that was better?
I mean, the PSG Barcelona and the comeback from Barcelona was crazy. The comeback by Liverpool against Barcelona at Anfield was electric. But I think the combination of both games, that's where perhaps this one separates, where there is no sense, there's no explanation possible for what happened and how it happened. Manchester City, while we want Nedum to keep up his head, Manchester City will look at this when things have settled down. And every player who was on the field and those that weren't will also feel the same way. And Pep Guardiola, in a quiet moment, how are we not going to the final? I'm not sure that those guys will watch the final, to be honest with you, because it's a reminder of you coming up short when you were there, and you just let it go through your hands. That drama and that tension and those nerves of the end of the game, those are feelings that those players are gonna have for a long time.
They won't watch it, Stevie. They won't watch that final.
Not a chance. No, I never watched the FA Cup final for years after not getting there. I wasn't interested. Didn't want to see it. I wanted to be there. I wanted to play in it. So I couldn't watch it.
Still all in favour of two-legged semi-finals?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We were all over it. So
this is a great example to all these dumplings that want to change everything all the time. Why not to change it? Here's a great example of why you leave it alone. Watch these two legs.
Yeah, Nedum, I'm sure that you still agree that it should be two legs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that, like, people approach the first leg in a certain manner, but you just know that second leg is going to just hit differently. Like I saw this with, say, World Cup qualifying and the like in AFCON and so on. So like, as time is passing, you see the clock, you're thinking Real Madrid, like, they've got 45 minutes to try and make their way into the final. They have to do this, they have to do that. And it makes for a great game. I think for the teams who are going to be taking part, you know, it's not a normal situation, not a normal game. So you just got to learn to deal with it, whether you're throwing everybody forward or bringing everybody back. And I think it makes for really, really exciting ties, because just that one goal changes everything. And I think for the viewers, if you can be neutral, it's exciting. I think if you're on the losing side, it's not so good. But overall, I think it's fantastic. And yeah, I think I'm a big fan myself.
We've got one last thing before we go, actually. Don't worry, it's not like some funny...
Not a violin for Nedum, is it?
Not a violin for Nedum.
Listen, I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry about me, guys. Don't worry about me.
I might need one yet.
Somebody keeps saying they're fine and all right. It's generally not fine.
I'm fine!
I'm good, guys. I'm okay.
So a lot of people were asking extra time questions, even though you weren't here yesterday, and a lot of people were wondering why you weren't here yesterday. What we would like to know is, how were you at half-time in that game with Villarreal?
Well, I was putting some things in the washing machine, put it that way. I was scared. I was absolutely scared. I was texting everybody going, what's going on? What is this? I was seriously worried. I'm sitting here thinking, how are we going to explain losing to Villarreal? I mean, that was my mindset at half-time. But I'd have to say, 5 minutes after the start of the second half, I went, nah, now we're talking. Here we go.
You didn't have to do the watching then?
No.
Okay.
Well, it was too late. I had to put it on anyway. But I was a
helped out a
scared
little
man.
bit by Geronimo Rulli, in the goalkeeper, Villarreal's goalkeeper.
Oh, he was sexy.
Oh, by
What?
the way. I'd say they were saying in the commentary that he should never be playing in the Champions League. And I must admit, I thought that in the first leg. Because I think he loses money if he catches the ball. I think he caught the ball once in 2 games. There must be something in his contract that if he catches it, he loses money.
The ball went between them.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't the best.
Yeah. No, all's well that ends well.
All's well that ends well. Let's see if you're saying that after the final. Real Madrid and Liverpool.
Wow.
Thanks so much for sending your questions in. Thanks so much for Nedum showing us his wonderful new book. We cannot wait to read it.
I've heard.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.